Hey everyone, and welcome to Almost Cancelled. I'm Peter, that is Connor, and we are going to talk about Timeless Season 2, Episode 2. It's called the Darlington 500, so full spoilers for the episode as always. What is the Darlington 500, you might ask? It sounds like a race of some kind, obviously, but if you're more into a specific form of drag racing, you'll know that this is a drag race that happens.
NASCAR.
NASCAR.
Drag racing is still a thing.
Yeah, it's a
NASCAR
thing,
is just a
yeah.
specific type of racing.
Of course it is, yes. Yes. I, honestly, I wasn't thinking about what I was saying. I just assumed I was saying the right thing. Clearly, I'm not into racing that much. I'm not into.
You're not into honestly, I'm not into NASCAR specifically.
Yeah.
I just like
I'm not,
whatever.
I'm not into cars in general. That said, what I do like about this though is I really like the idea that there's just one thing that's really specific that Lucy knows nothing about, but Wyatt just happens to be into that one thing. So he
Yeah,
immediately is like, "Oh, I know that guy now." He's just hitting with a trivia like
yeah,
immediately, and he knows what's going on. I like that idea. I like that, if let's say it was like movie related things, and like Lucy wouldn't know specifically about it, so like, oh well, no, I can see. I'm a fan of that director in 1956. He was doing this, and like.
yeah.
Yeah, I like that idea. I can't do it too often, but I like that they maybe all have one subject, maybe two subjects that they know a lot about that, aren't history the same way that she knows about.
No, it makes sense. Like I'd expect Wyatt to know some sort of military history more than her.
Yeah,
Something specific.
yeah. She'll know like stuff like wars and politics and sort of general history that historians will cover, but when it comes to nerdy shit.
As they put it in this, yeah.
Yes, because Rufus flat out calls him a nerd because he starts like getting excited about the engines and stuff.
Yeah.
So all amusing. Also, I did crack up quite a bit at the nod joke.
Oh, it was killing me.
It was killing me. Rufus gives him the nod. Because
Yeah.
obviously they mentioned, and the show's never shied away from this. Like they go into the past, and obviously Rufus being black, there's going to be some issues with that in certain time periods. And they're in the south, and some guy like calls him boy, and is like really awkward for a second. And obviously Rufus is used to time travel, and he's like, okay, I'll just keep my head down, like fine, sorry, sir, blah blah blah.
Yeah, I like that they've always addressed this.
Yeah, they always
because
have.
it's something that a lot of time travel shows just kind of brush over.
Yeah, they'll skirt around it. So Rufus is used to doing this, and he's used to time traveling, and he's okay, I'll deal with it. But then this badass comes out. He starts like fighting with the other drivers because some kid was trying to
Mess with
sabotage his
engine,
car.
yeah.
And they end up meeting him, and he's like, he gives him the nod, and like he goes like, "What are you doing?" It's like,
What is this?
Yeah, the nod. And then he leaves the scene awkwardly. Then Lucy and Wyatt's like, "What was that?" It's like, "It's the nod." What nod? The nod. Just black guy saying, "Oh, black guy." You give him the nod. It's a nod.
Yeah, it's funny because you say this. I'm like, yeah, I see that all the time. Yeah, sure. That looks really natural.
The different version of it I like is in Curb Your Enthusiasm, Larry David likes to nod at other bald men because he feels a solidarity with bald men. Let's talk about the rest of the episode, shall we?
Yeah, we probably should.
All right, so they're back. So Rittenhouse are go back, and you think they're going back to kill this other NASCAR driver who's a hot shot that Wyatt's really into. But the twist, of course, is that he's actually the sleeper agent, and he was never there in the first place. But obviously, Wyatt has all these memories of him.
Yeah,
Has all these memories because obviously history's changed, and it's like, oh shit, this is one of these agents. We get into this. And it becomes about sort of teaming up with the other driver, and they kind of like escape, they get away. They've got these 1950 styles like race cars, which are very different, of course, from what you think now. You say racing to me, and I'm thinking
you think like F1?
either F1 or if you're thinking even street racing, I'm thinking like Fast and the Furious. Like
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
thinking these little cars from the
The,
50s.
the buggies.
Yeah. So it's all very amusing. There's some fun chase sequence stuff. And a lot of basically Wyatt geeking out whilst Rufus is trying to like, oh, I'm an engineer, I can help you, and then he gets hurt. More than that in a bit because that's obviously relevant to something else. But all that was fun. Do you know what I'm surprised at? I am genuinely surprised at the moment with Lucy and Wyatt in the back of the car. It was oddly kind of working for me.
Yeah.
No, like
Well,
great. I'm not like super into the romance or anything, but like.
why are you so surprised more than anything? Because I thought it was fine.
Well, I think when they first hinted that there was going to be like a romance between them, I remember like being like, "Oh, this is kind of weird," because because his whole thing's been, "Oh, my wife was killed. I want I want vengeance for my wife. I want to get my wife back with time travel." So it felt kind of murky, like it was going to be this weird, almost love triangle with a third party who wasn't alive but could be alive.
Yes.
right? So I was just kind of surprised. Okay, I'm actually feeling, and I think it helps that so far this season there's not been a lot of talk of his dead wife.
No, I will say the cynic in me, which
Oh God.
comes up every so often,
Mm-hmm.
says that as soon as they fully commit to this Lucy Wyatt stuff, once they're properly
That's when
going
she'll be
at
back. No, I.
that's when it's we found a way that we can get her back.
Yeah, yeah, and it'll be a whole awkward.
And I'm not
thing.
necessarily excited about that. Don't get me wrong, they've got some leeway because they've earned that trust, but that doesn't excite me as an idea.
Yeah, Emma's proper evil this episode because she's basically the Gestapo for Rittenhouse, where she keeps questioning if the people who are working for her are actually. And to be fair with Lucy, there was she was part of the opposition. But she immediately starts questioning this sleeper agent, like, oh, you've got a wife and you got her pregnant. Oh, I'm going to bring her to the show as well. And if you don't blow up all those car manufacturers, I'm going to kill your wife.
Yeah, there's a really dark one where they talk about we can get to 2 in 1, and it's like, if you count the one in the oven, it's 3.
Yeah.
I was like, Jesus Christ, that is dark.
Yeah, and because later on in the episode, when the grandfather, sorry, not grandson, grandfather, who they obviously got in the first episode, like they're waiting for him, and he's complaining it isn't like tablets. He prints everything out because it hurts his eyes. Like you awful, future people.
Yeah. He printed out. Was that all of Wikipedia? He said he printed out. Like that because like she's like, how much of this is it? And it's like all of it. I'm like, it can't be more. All Wikipedia.
There'd be warehouses and warehouses if it was all of Wikipedia.
Right,
sure.
I don't believe you. All on maybe one subject, but
yeah, maybe relevant to the subjects that he cares about. Even then, it's pushing it, but still, whatever. I'll accept some of it. So he's kind of like that, and there's some questioning, like, is he actually going to be this fearless leader? He had all the IDs in the first place, but is he kind of out of his element being in present day? But at the end, we see that he's done this big mural, this big painting, what's what they call a map of everything they're going to do in the past.
He berates them for calling it a map.
Yeah, and he's like, oh, you've been questioning whether or not I can do this, and I'm like, no, here's the plans, here's what we're going to do. And then it does get full on kind of like fascist sounding. He's like, oh, we're going to erase the negative elements of society that we don't like, and we're going to make sure everyone's perfect. Like, I flat out thought he was going to say like Aryan race at one point when he was making his speech.
No, I get what you mean. I think it's obviously not quite as literal as that for him. That's not the image of perfection, but the idea is there.
But yeah, he kept talking about, let's make society perfect and get all the rough elements away and make sure only the best of the best are around. And I'm like, yeah, this sounds like we're getting straight up, fascist speak here. And the thing is, Emma during this, like, she was questioning like a minute ago. She's like, she almost looks horny at the sound of this speech. She's like really into this. And funnily enough, Moira Queen, Lucy's mother, is like almost looking concerned, like, oh, this may be a bit much. I know I've been dead set again. I've been dead set a part of this Rittenhouse thing my whole life, but this might be a bit much.
Yeah. It's probably going to be maybe she's not quite as villainous as we thought. Maybe they'll pull almost a Flynn style thing.
Or even she's not as villainous as she thought herself. Like, she thought she was all in all this, but then now she's actually hearing about this. Is like, oh, maybe not. Oh, maybe a bit too much. But hey, speaking of Flynn, they do actually get the where to go from Flynn, because I actually kind of like that. Like, okay, they went to this South Carolina. They went there in 1950, whatever it was, and I kind of like that. She's like, well, there's nothing historically important about that. Like, there's nothing there.
I love the idea that might be a running theme this season, because whatever it is has already been done. So
yeah, because they're all sleeper agents who went in early. So yeah,
right. So presumably, because they went back with the history to change something. So they were going back probably not to cause something, but to stop something, you would imagine, right?
Yeah.
So because they're stopping something, well, they don't know what they've stopped, so it's already been stopped. It just didn't happen for most of our team. Yeah.
So for the most part, because the actual like murder they're going to commit's not happened in the present day yet.
Right.
So yeah, because otherwise they could find that if they look for it.
Yeah.
Because they could say, so this time, this state, what happened? Yeah. It would be in the news if they look for it. So not everything's happened yet, but yeah, the fact that the sleeper agent's already been there, and they're going after things that aren't necessarily obvious, because them murdering a bunch of car manufacturers and owners would be in the news, but in history there was nothing there because nothing happened.
Right.
Yeah. So, other things, I kind of liked how they bring up that the driver that's helping them, right? They bring up that, he's really good, he's got a really good record, but they bring up how he won this big race, but he wasn't like announced as the winner. They treated him like he was third, and because he was black, because everyone was being racist about it.
Yeah, he won by 2 laps, but the judges said that he didn't.
Yeah, and he eventually got the money, but he get none of the public acclaim, none of the trophies or anything like that. And they're kind of like all awkward about telling him this. Not that they want to tell him, but just when he brings it up, oh, I'm going to do the best I can, and he's all excited.
And they're all like, we know, but.
And I kind of like, and they sort of bring up the concern sort of naturally, as if it is like not knowing the future. Just like, oh, but do you really think they're going to like give you the prize? And he's like, well, no, of course they're not going to.
He's like, I'm not an idiot.
Yeah, he's like, no, I know they're going to like fight me in every step of the way. I just want to be the best. I don't care if everyone else agrees with it.
Yeah, it's about the personal knowing that he is rather than the actual recognition.
And I kind of like that because you did feel kind of bad for him. He's kind of doing also, he's going to achieve this, but it's going to be like, it's going to be like taken away from him almost. But finding out that he knows that that's going to happen, and he knows that I get how it's going to go down, but I'm still going to beat them because they all know that I beat them. Like,
he doesn't care, does he?
Yeah, the guy who was number 2, who they probably give the trophy to, he knows he didn't really win.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. So I like that. Of course, Flynn did help, and he says this one's for free, but next time you're going to have to get me out. And I like that because it's like, okay, they know his information is useful because it was right this time.
This is to verify it. Yeah,
this was the free taste to go with drug dealer speak.
Yes. Speaking of some drugs, we got Wyatt's past.
Oh shit! Yeah, it was. Well, we don't know if it was drugs necessarily.
We don't, but he talks about he talks about moonshine, and then it goes it's a bit harder. So I mean, there's an assumption.
You assume drugs. I mean. It might not have been recreational. It might have been like experimental, illegal. I don't know.
Could have been guns. I don't know.
It could have been guns. Yeah, it could have been anything that you're not supposed to be smuggling across.
It could have. It was his wording of something a bit harder implied drugs.
No, it very well could be. Because he brings up his past, because they talk about how this guy's a smuggler, and he's like, oh, I was also a smuggler, and also they compare it to Han Solo because they're.
Yeah, the guy's Han Solo because he made this journey in X amount of time.
Yeah, and Rufus actually says 12 parsecs. Yeah. Get on with it.
You really hate Star Wars references. This was a perfectly appropriate reference.
I don't really, but I feel like they do it. I feel like across TV as a whole, they do it so frequently that I'm like,
I get you.
Reference other things. See when Mac references Chopping Mall in Shield, it's like, yes, no one references Chopping Mall.
That.
Yeah.
No, I'm with you, but this feels perfectly appropriate.
Yeah, all right. But yeah, obviously Gia's still having more visions. In fact, we see that she has the vision of Rufus, because as soon as she has that weird blackout moment, she sees like the burn in his arm. I'm like, okay, his arm's getting burned this episode then.
Yeah, is that? Do you think the first confirmation of her visions to her?
To her, I think so. Yeah, I think everything else has been just kind of weird things she doesn't understand. Whereas this one, it's like, no, I saw that and then it happened.
Right. This is the first time something's come true.
Yeah, it's confirmed that this is an alternate timeline or a possible timeline or a possible future, whatever the rules are going to be once we start to,
looking forward to it.
Get into the rules and what actually is happening. Is it future? Is it timeline stuff? We'll see. But
yeah, I assume that the original vision was presumably in a post-Rittenhouse completing their mission world, or at least some stage along that. But can that be stopped?
Oh, you mean the original bridge?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. No, absolutely. Obviously, Mason wants to start building up his reputation again. So he's got like a speak he's going to do. He's got a talk that he's going to go to, and some big thing. He goes, and Agent Christopher says, "Don't go because you can start rebuilding your reputation when we're done with the mission. But until then, lay low because we'd rather be off the radar." And he goes anyway, like a dick. Even though I sympathise with him to an extent, don't get me wrong.
Kind of on his side here.
No, don't get me wrong. Later on in the episode, when she comes in and has him arrested in front of everyone, especially that other dick guy who was especially dickish.
But, I thought you were on first.
Yeah.
Piss off.
Yeah, because he's like, oh, well, you're bankrupt and you've lost everything, and Mason kind of, well, I'm on first because I'm more important.
No, I do sympathise with Mason here the whole time because. He's like, look, I'm doing everything you want. I'm doing all of this stuff. I'm building, I'm working. But, I want to take 3 hours and go and give a speech. I'll come back.
I wasn't necessarily, completely not on her side, though, in the first place, though. Her point is pretty valid. It's probably quite likely that you're involved with us, and keeping you off the radar is probably a good idea for the sake of everyone's safety.
Maybe. I get that, but I mean, in my mind, I think tech geniuses like that are kind of off the radar by nature. They'll pop in at a speech and then, okay, they're gone again.
I felt bad for him later on, don't get me wrong. I did feel bad for him when she came in with the guards and said he was been arrested for something that he didn't do. This was just a fake thing. This is the reason we're arresting you in the public.
Yeah, that's a dick move.
So now the asshole who was giving him shit and being all smug about it, like he's just got more fuel for the fire.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the thing. But that was the episode. Obviously they stop the bomb and they do the whole thing when they drive back and Wyatt gets to do a little fancy driving.
Yeah. Show off his skills.
Backs into the garage for everyone else.
Every time.
Well, see the thing is, normally I'll just say the other word for ease sake, but garage is the same word. It's just said differently. So I can't.
So you just say it naturally first because that's how you're used to saying it.
Whereas I'll happily say trunk instead of boot for the car. I don't really care. It's fine. But because it's the same word, I kind of have to say it my way first.
Yeah. That said, I actually appreciate how the boot was set up, or trunk for the Americans, with the fake floor.
Oh yeah, because we already knew about it. So when the guy was going to check it, like it was like okay, obviously, right. So we know there's a hidden compartment.
Yeah, we'd seen. Obviously, there's the concern that maybe they knew his smuggling past. He'd check under it, but which is why I assume Rufus was quite agitated when it was happening.
Yeah.
Because he was getting a bit nervous.
Yeah, but I was like, I might even say it was better than last week's. I think that because this was back to more proper timeless like shenanigans because they were full team for the whole episode, and I liked the guest stars. I liked what they were doing.
I will say I really laughed at the meta joke with the prop budget from Mason.
Oh yeah, because it's like, oh, this police badge sucks. Like, well, we don't have a whole department anymore, so like, guess what you have to make do.
Yeah.
Who says, oh, luckily, Rebel Without a Cause made T-shirts and jeans really popular, so you're fine. We can just use that for most things after that year.
Yeah. Oh man, so somewhere that costume department got slashed between seasons, didn't it?
Yeah. Probably. That's it. I mean, it still gave Lucy a proper dress from the time.
Yeah. I feel like that some people got let go between seasons.
Probably. But hey, so that's episode 2 of Timeless. Still very good. Looking forward to seeing what the big bad great grandfather his plan's going to be.
Yeah.
Lucy's still kind of in a mess because they mentioned she was staring at the ceiling at night and not sleeping. Nothing else really came of it this episode, of course, but obviously we're seeing her place, her place in the show going forward, and she's going to have this sort of reconciling with what she's done and sort of that darkness.
I like that it's not, front and center constantly, immediately. It's like she's not dealt with it, but she's accepted that happened, and she's put it aside for the sake of the mission, for now, until it comes up again.
I'm just smiling because if this was Jessica Jones, there'd be scenes and scenes of her just being angry at everyone and not doing anything else.
Yeah. They talk about her staring at the ceiling all night.
We'd have that scene.
Every episode.
Yeah.
Twice an episode, probably.
Yeah. But hey, so that's Timeless episode 2. So let's know what you thought of this one. Give us more your own theories and stuff in the comments. Like, subscribe, all the usual stuff. Get us on the Twitters at mailed_fuzz for channel updates. If you want to support the channel, hit patreon.com/mailfuzztv. But otherwise, that is us. So thank you once again for watching. We always appreciate it. Keep watching TV. Have you got any vanilla?